Here with Iowa Heartlanders assistant coach Kevin Schmidt. It's the Iowa Heartlanders getting set for their matchup here on a Friday night against the Kalamazoo Wings. Kevin, Heartlanders coming off a few big wins last week in Wichita. Took a while to get back, but here we are. Everyone's rested up after a few days. So how's the last few days been for the boys?
Yeah, really good. First and foremost, it's nice to be back at home and, familiar facility and kind of get back in your routine. Couple practices, obviously, a morning skate today. So it's nice to be back home in Extreme Arena. Looking forward to a nice little homestand here. First of 3 this weekend, first of 6 in the next 2 weekends. So we're excited to be at home.
Yeah, a couple different opponents coming in as well. But before we talk about Kalamazoo and obviously Indy over the next few days, let's talk about the Sunday win against Wichita. The Heartlanders had a huge win on Saturday night to break out of a 4-game skid against the Thunder and overall for the team. So to win that game on Saturday, how did that flip forward into a pretty dominant Sunday 5-1 win?
That's a really good question. It's something that's not easy to do coming off such an emotional win, 10-round shootout, so full 65 minutes plus, a really, really good response that we had there on that Saturday night, and to back it up on Sunday, it's harder, said than done. So credit to our guys, just staying focused, staying disciplined, believing in our process, and then just coming to work, putting our heart boots on, and getting right to work right from the full 60.
So William Rousseau, who's now called up to the AHL, he had a few really key saves, and talk about it with you and Derek a little bit, sort of after the game, nothing on the air, was that maybe a difference between that game and the week before. Iowa got that second goal to take a 2-0 lead on the Sunday. The Sunday before against Wheeling, it felt pretty similar in terms of the domination at points, just couldn't get that second goal. So in a Sunday game like that, how can getting that second, third, those insurance goals really put the other team in a spot where it's really tough for them to get their legs underneath them to come back?
Well, I mean, we've talked about it before, David. We know the importance of scoring the first goal and going up by 1. I think like you've said before, I believe it's a 70-75% chance of getting that first one. So if you're able to add, an insurance marker to make it 2-0, and obviously, you really throw the the stats in your favor. So I mean, that's what happened. We would have liked that for it to happen. The last Saturday, obviously, it doesn't always work out like that. But that goal and at that particular time in a 3-3, kind of deflated them, took the winds out of our soul. Out of their sail, sorry. We just stuck to our game plan after that, and they ultimately they didn't really have a response.
There's been the ECHL, there's up and downs all the time in terms of players and also in terms of sometimes how teams are playing. So Matt Sops had quite a few days of travel. He was in San Diego back just a couple days ago. He was in snowy Wichita. You've done this as a professional with the up and down route. How do guys stay engaged when they're sort of on a little bit of a roller coaster of you might wake up one day and not know whether you're going to be in the AHL or the ECHL?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the job, especially a player like Matthews going up and down. He's earning the opportunity to go up and play in the American Hockey League. So, it's just got to control what you got to control. You kind of, focusing on doing your job and being a professional. And ultimately it just becomes part of your routine and part of who you are. And, you have hockey's a really tough game, both mentally and physically, but at the same point, same respect, you have all day and to prepare and all week to prepare and stuff. So you get your rest, get your rest and when you can, and you just you come to work with the right mindset, and when you do that, then you give yourself the best chance to be successful.
A couple last ones for you. So Kalamazoo, they come in, they're on a little bit of a slide. This will be your first Heartlanders Kalamazoo game. Historically, these games are 1-goal games in the third period or tied most of the time. Last 5 minutes could be the crunch time that decides the game. There's been some really exciting games. I know they're going through it a little bit. They've had a lot of injuries and call-ups just like the Heartlanders. So what do you see on the film from them that makes you realize, hey, this is going to be a tough one tonight against these guys?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've talked about teams that we've been up against lately being well-balanced, and when you take a look at them in the film, that's exactly what they are. So we know their special teams are strong, and that's an area that we really have to focus in, continue to try to improve on for us. But ultimately, at the end of the day, no matter what opponent we have, we always try to focus on ourselves, make sure we're playing our game, make sure we get off right from the drop of the puck and play a full 60. But it's certainly going to be a challenge. I know historically, like you said, they're tough games, 1-goal games, and that's what we expect tonight.
Kevin, thanks again for a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, David.
Absolutely. We'll be right back. Iowa and Kalamazoo drop the puck next.